sao ing ring shring kaela ring asakahala ring sakala ring sao ein kling ring shring Om. Namaste. Welcome to Śrīmad Devī Bhāgavatam. The Sanskrit verse you just heard is the Sodashi mantra. Sodashi mantra is the most powerful and beneficial Vedic prayer. It invokes the Shakti of goddess Lalita, also known as Tripura Sundari, Mahamaya, Durga, and many other names. Who is goddess Lalita? This Śrīmad Devī Bhāgavatam is her story. Listen, and you will gain immense spiritual benefit. Here begins Chapter 2 of Śrīmad Devī Bhāgavatam. Sri Suta replied, I am highly fortunate. I consider myself blessed, and I am purified by the Mahatmas, the high-souled persons, inasmuch as I am questioned by them about the highly meritorious Devi Bhagavata Purāṇa, famous in the Vedas. I will now speak in detail about this Purāṇa, the best of the Agamas, approved by all the Vedas, and the most secret of all the śāstras. O Brahmanas, I bow down to the gentle lotus feet, known throughout the three lokas, of the Devi Bhagavati, praised by Brahma, Viṣṇu, Mahesha, and other devas, meditated upon always by the Munindras, and which the yogis contemplate as their source of liberation. Today, I will devotedly describe in detail and in plain language that Purāṇa, which is the best of all the Purāṇas, which gives prosperity and contains all the sentiments, rasas, that a human being can conceive, the Śrīmad Devī Bhāgavatam. May that highest primal Shakti, who is known as Vidya in the Vedas, who is omniscient, who controls the innermost being of all, and who is skilled in cutting off the knot of the world, who cannot be realized by the wicked and the vicious, but who is visible to the Munis in their meditation. May that Bhagavati Devi give me always the buddhi fit to describe this, her Purāṇa. I call to my mind the mother of all the worlds, who creates this universe, whose nature is both real from the relative point of view and unreal from the absolute point of view, who creates, preserves, and destroys by her Rajasic, Sattvic, and Tamasic qualities respectively, and in the end resolves all these into herself and plays alone in the period of dissolution. At this time, I remember that mother of all the worlds. It is commonly thought that Brahma is the creator of this universe, and the knowers of the Vedas and the Purāṇas say so. But they also say that Brahma is born of the navel lotus of Viṣṇu. Thus it appears that Brahma cannot create independently. Again, Viṣṇu, from whose navel lotus Brahma is born, lies in Yoga Nidra on the bed of Ananta, the thousand-headed serpent, in the time of Pralaya. So how can we call Bhagavan Viṣṇu, who rests on the thousand-headed serpent Ananta, as the creator of the universe? Again, the refuge of Ananta is the water of the ocean, a karnava. A liquid cannot rest without a vessel. So I take refuge of the mother of all beings, who resides as the Shakti of all, and thus is the supporter of all. I fly for refuge unto that Devi who was praised by Brahma while resting on the navel lotus of Viṣṇu, who was lying fast asleep in Yoga Nidra. O Munis, meditating on that Maya Devi, who creates, preserves, and destroys the universe, who is known as the source of the three gunas, and who grants mukti, I now describe the whole of her Purāṇa. Now you all should hear. The Purāṇa Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, also known as the Devi Bhāgavata, is excellent and holy. 18,000 pure slokas are contained in it. Bhagavan Krishna Dvaipayana has divided this Purāṇa into 12 auspicious Skandhas, books or cantos, and 318 chapters. That work is denominated as a Purāṇa, which contains the following 5 characteristics: creation of the universe, secondary creation, dynasties, manvantaras, and the description of Manus and other kings. O best of Munis, all the Purāṇas are endowed with these 5 characteristics. These 5 characteristics of the Purāṇas are also contained in the Devi Bhāgavatam. Shiva is beyond prakritic attributes, eternal and ever omnipresent. She is without any change, immutable, unattainable but by yoga. She is the refuge of the universe, and her nature is Turiya Chaitanya. Mahalakshmi is her Sattviki Shakti. Saraswati is her Rajasiki Shakti. And Mahakali is her Tamasiki Shakti. These are all feminine forms. The assuming of bodies by these 3 Shaktis for the creation of this universe is denominated as Sarga, creation, by the Mahapurushas, skilled in śāstras. And the further resolution of these 3 Shaktis into Brahma, Viṣṇu, and Mahesha for the creation, preservation, and destruction of this universe is denominated in this Purāṇa as Pratisarga, secondary creation. The description of the kings of the solar and lunar dynasties and the families of Hiranyakashipu and others is known as the description of the lineages of kings and their dynasties. The description of Swayambhuva and other Manus and their ruling periods is known as Manvantaras. And the description of their descendants is known as the description of their dynasties. Thus, these are the 5 characteristics in the Purāṇas as contained in the Devi Bhāgavatam. So also is Mahābhārata Vedavyāsa characterized by these 5 things. This Mahābhārata is known as the 5th Veda and Itihasa, history. In this there are something more than 100,000 shlokas. Shaunaka said, O Sutta, what are those Purāṇas and how many verses are contained in each? Speak all those in detail in this holy kshetra. We, the residents of Naimisharanya, are all very eager to hear this. Now hear why we call ourselves the residents of Naimisharanya. You will realize then that no other place exists in this Kali age for hearing the holy discourses on religion. When we were afraid of the Kali age, Brahma gave us a Manomaya chakra, a wheel made of mind, and said to all of us, follow this wheel, go after it, and the spot where the felly, the rim of the wheel, will become thin so as to break and will not roll further. That country is the holy place. Kali will never be able to enter there. You all better remain there until the Satya age comes back." On hearing the words of Brahma, we went out quickly, keeping the wheel before us, our object being to determine which place is best and holiest. When we came here, the felly of the wheel became thin and shorn before my eyes. Hence, this kshetra is called Naimish. It is the most sanctifying place. Thus, according to the instruction of Brahma, we have got orders to stay here. Kali cannot enter here. Hence, the Mahatmas, Munis, and Siddhas, terrified by the Kali age, have followed me and resorted to this place. We have performed yajnas with purodasa, clarified butter, as is offered in oblations to the fire, where no animals are sacrificed. Now we have no other important work to do except to pass our time here until the arrival of Satya Yuga. O Sutta, we are extremely fortunate in all respects that you have come here. Purify us today by narrating to us the names of the Puranas equivalent to the Vedas. O Sutta, you are also a learned orator. We too are ardent listeners, with no other works to bother our heads. Narrate to us today the auspicious holy Devi Bhagavata Purāṇa. O Sutta, long live you, and may no ailments, internal, external, or from the Devas, torment you. This is our blessing to you. We have heard that in the most sanctifying Purāṇa, narrated by Mahārṣi Dvaipayana, all about dharma, religion, artha, wealth, and kama, desires, are duly described. As well, acquiring tattva jnana and liberation are also spoken of. O Sutta, our desires are not satisfied the more we hear of these beautiful holy words. Now describe to us the highly pure Śrīmad Devī Bhāgavatam, wherein are described all the leelas, the dramatic acts of the Mother of the three worlds, purifying all sins and adorned with all spiritual qualities, as described as yielding all desires like a kalpa vriksha, the celestial tree. Thus ends the second chapter of the first Skandha on the description of the Purāṇa in the Mahāpurāṇa Śrīmad Devī Bhāgavatam of 18,000 verses by Mahārṣi Vedavyāsa. Thanks for listening. Śrīmad Devī Bhāgavatam is best heard from the beginning. So if you just discovered us, please go back and listen to the first episode. Śrīmad Devī Bhāgavatam is a blog, a podcast, even a video series. Check the links in the description for our other sites. This is Adya Shakti Swami. Thanks for listening. Find out what happens in the next episode of Śrīmad Devī Bhāgavatam.